Hello, welcome to another video. Please like, share and subscribe for more amazing story. True God in Another Worlds, Tensura x Tbate, by Tempest_King_20. Side Chapter 9 Sylvie Human Form Alice Lewin Pav. Tabitha's delicate features were etched with a mixture of concern and confusion as she posed the question that had been on all of our minds. What do you think Ri wants? I could only offer a helpless shrug in response, my mind racing with a million different possibilities. Rimuru, my son, was known for his unpredictability, his whimsical nature often keeping us on our toes. Trying to decipher his intentions was like trying to catch a fleeting shooting star, elusive and ever-changing. Ray let out a deep sigh, his brow furrowed in concern. He did seem quite serious when he called us here. I hope everything is okay. I couldn't help but feel a sense of unease as well. Rimuru was usually so laid back and carefree, so for him to bring us all together like this, it must be something significant. Vincent couldn't resist making a lighthearted remark. Maybe he's finally going to reveal his secret to perfecting his cooking skills. I've been dying to know how he makes his spaghetti. We all shared a laugh at Vincent's suggestion, but deep down, we all knew that whatever Rimuru had to say was serious and important. Ray turned to Ellie, our only daughter, who seemed to be hiding something behind her playful facade. What do you think, Ellie? Ray asked, his tone gentle but probing. I don't know anything. Ha ha ha, Ellie stammered, her laughter sounding forced as she avoided making eye contact with any of us. Art let out a sigh, seemingly unsurprised by Ellie's response. He and Ellie shared a knowing look, hinting that they might be privy to some information that the rest of us weren't. Come on, Ellie, don't keep us in suspense. Do you know something we don't? I prodded, giving her a knowing look that seemed to make her squirm in her seat. I have no idea, Ellie insisted, but her eyes sparkled with excitement, betraying her true feelings despite her attempts to remain composed. Lilia and Seal, seated next to each other, exchanged a knowing look and shared a secretive smile. Don't worry, Aunt Alice, it's nothing bad or dangerous, Seal reassured me, with Lilia nodding in agreement. As the tension in the room continued to build, my curiosity and anticipation grew stronger. What did Rimuru have in store for us? What could be so important that he needed to gather us all together like this? The unanswered questions floated through my mind, leaving me eager to finally hear what Rimuru had to say. Sorry to keep you all waiting. Ri's cheerful voice echoed through the room as he entered, a bright smile lighting up his face and his eyes dancing with excitement. The air was filled with a sense of anticipation as all of us turned our attention towards him, eager to hear what he had to say. I'm sure you're all wondering why I called you here today, but don't worry, it's nothing serious or bad. In fact, it's quite the opposite, Ri continued, his playful tone keeping us on the edge of our seats. Tabitha couldn't contain her impatience any longer and spoke up, Rimuru, please just tell us already. Ri feigned a mock frown but couldn't hold back his smile for long. You all are much too impatient, he teased. Well, I can't keep you in suspense any longer. You can come out now. As Ri spoke, a figure timidly peeked out from behind the door, causing our eyes to widen in surprise. Stepping into the light, a small, delicate girl. She had a small and delicate skull, high cheekbones, and a pointed chin. Her eyes shone with a bright golden hue that matched Ri's perfectly. Her soft, wheat blonde hair cascaded down her shoulders in a sleek, straight fall. Her bangs barely covered half of her forehead, revealing a small, rounded face adorned with freckles across her nose. Two black horns jutted out from the sides of her head, adding a touch of mystery and intrigue to her appearance. She wore a simple black robe that draped elegantly over her small frame, giving her a regal and otherworldly air. The room fell into a stunned silence as we took in the sight of this captivating girl, who nervously fidgeted behind Ri, clutching his clothes for comfort. Rimuru, who is this girl? Ray managed to stammer out. Rimuru's warm smile never faltered as he looked down at the girl beside him. Everyone, I'd like you to meet Sylvie in her human form. A hush fell over us as we processed this new information. Sylvie timidly waved at us, her golden eyes shining with innocence and curiosity, a picture of ethereal beauty standing before us. A sight that none of us could have ever imagined. I couldn't help but feel a surge of emotions as I looked at Sylvie. From the moment she had entered our lives, she had brought endless joy and laughter. To see her now, in this new form, only deepened the love and connection that I felt towards her. As Sylvie stood there, Slightly shy but undeniably happy, I knelt down to her level and reached out a hand to gently pat her head. "Hello, Sylvie," I greeted her, my voice filled with warmth and admiration. "You are absolutely stunning in your human form." A small blush colored Sylvie's cheeks as she responded softly, "Thank you, Grandma." "Grandma?" I gasped in surprise, not expecting to be called that so soon. Sylvie nodded, a small smile playing on her lips. "Am I wrong?" "No, not at all. You can most certainly call me that," I replied, my heart swelling with love and pride. I enveloped her in a hug, feeling the weight of the newfound title settle comfortably in my heart. The others in the room seemed to come out of their shock and approached Sylvie, congratulating her and admiring her human form. Sylvie's face lit up with happiness at the attention and praise, and she graciously accepted their compliments. In the 5 years that I had spent with Sylvie, she had already become an integral part of our new family. Watching her play with Ellie had always brought me joy, but now with her in human form, the happiness in our home seemed to intensify. I had a feeling that our little family would continue to grow and evolve, and I was excited to see what the future held for us. Once again, "Welcome, Sylvie," I said, feeling a sense of warmth and happiness in my heart. "We are so happy to have you here with us." Sylvie smiled back at me, her eyes sparkling with excitement and shyness. "Thank you, Grandma. I'm happy to be here too." Rimuru Pav. As I looked around the room, I could see the joy and excitement in everyone's faces. Seal, Art, and Lily stood next to me, smiling. Ellie, who had known Sylvie's secret identity, was still in awe as she gazed at Sylvie with admiration. My parents engaged in lively conversation with Sylvie. Aunt Tabitha and Uncle Vincent watched with tender expressions. "Well, that went well," Art said, breaking the momentary silence with a chuckle. "I thought someone was going to faint today." Lily couldn't help but tease him, her eyes sparkling with humor. "Well, after living with you two, nothing really surprises us anymore," she quipped, playfully nudging Art as she spoke. "You both have a knack for bringing unexpected surprises into our lives," she added with a chuckle, pointing at my brother and me. "Touché." My mother looked at me with a mix of confusion and curiosity as she asked, "But why did it take you so long to tell us about Sylvie's human form, Ree?" "I've been a little preoccupied the past few days, and Sylvie was still adjusting to her human form. Plus, I wanted to make sure everyone was prepared and wouldn't freak out by the sudden transformation," I explained. Uncle Vincent scratched his head, trying to wrap his head around the concept. "Why would we freak out?" "Well, not everyone is used to the idea of a dragon transitioning into a human form, especially with the horns and all," I said, gesturing towards Sylvie's horns. "I just wanted to make sure everyone was comfortable and accepting before revealing Sylvie's true form." My mother followed my gaze and understood what I meant. "Oh, I see what you mean. But we love Sylvie regardless of her form. She's already a part of our family." Aunt Tabitha nodded in agreement, chiming in, "Alice is right. Family sticks together through thick and thin, no matter how unconventional things may be." Ellie's eyes widened with excitement as she grasped Sylvie's hands. "Those horns make you even cooler, Sylvie. You're the best dragon ever." At that, Sylvie's smile widened even more, and she seemed to regain her confidence. "He. Of course I am. Rimuru Lewin's daughter, Sylvie Lewin, after all," Sylvie said smugly, placing her hands in front of her chest and puffing out her chest proudly. We couldn't help but chuckle at her bold declaration, a sense of joy and excitement filling the room. Uncle Vincent chimed in with a mischievous grin. "I think this calls for a celebration. Let's throw a party in honor of Sylvie's new human form." Aunt Tabitha playfully pinched his cheek. "You just want an excuse to get drunk, don't you?" He chuckled sheepishly. Was it that obvious? Laughter filled the room as we all shared in the lighthearted banter. It was decided then, a unanimous agreement that a party was indeed in order to celebrate Sylvie's transformation. The excitement was palpable as we began making plans for the festivities, eager to revel in the joy of this special occasion. The cool night air wrapped around us like a comforting blanket as we sat on the rooftop, the sounds of the bustling city below fading into the background. The sky above us was a vast canvas of velvety darkness, dotted with twinkling stars that seemed to dance in the moonlight. Sylvia's voice, soft and filled with curiosity and warmth, broke the peaceful silence. "So, how did it go?" Her gentle gaze fixed on the sky, a serene expression on her face. A small, contented smile tugged at my lips as I recalled the events of today. It went better than I imagined, I replied, the sense of gratitude washing over me. Sylvia nodded in understanding, her own smile soft and knowing as she reached over to gently pat the head of her daughter, Sylvie, who was curled up on her lap, fast asleep. I knew they would. Your family is truly amazing, and their kindness and acceptance towards her mean the world to me, Sylvia said, her voice filled with admiration and appreciation. Let's save the sentiment for later. You seem to like sneaking up to the ceiling, I remarked, a playful grin tugging at the corners of my lips. Sylvia's eyes twinkled with amusement as she turned to face me, a mischievous glint in her gaze. Well, the view is beautiful from up here, don't you think? She countered, a smile playing on her lips. I couldn't help but agree with her sentiment, taking in the sight of the night sky above us. The stars twinkled in a mesmerizing display, casting a soft glow over us and bathing us in a sense of peace and tranquility. It's definitely a unique perspective, I mused, my gaze drifting back to Sylvia as we both fell into a comfortable silence, content to simply watch the stars twinkle in the night sky. It was a moment of peace and tranquility, a rare moment of stillness in our busy lives. So, we will start attending the academy soon, Sylvia remarked, breaking the silence once more, her eyes sparkled with excitement. I've never been to an academy before. I let out a small chuckle, admiring her enthusiasm. Me neither. It will be a new experience for both of us. Sylvia's brow furrowed in confusion. Didn't you go to school in your previous life? I shook my head, explaining, the school system is different from the academy system, especially since this is a magic academy. Her eyes widened in understanding. Oh, I see. Well, I'm excited to go alongside you at the academy. I have a feeling that it will be a fun adventure. I couldn't help but smile at her optimism. I wonder about that, I mused, my gaze drifting to the vast sky above us. It seems like it will be tiring, not to mention there is nothing we can learn there. Sylvia nodded in agreement. You're right. The air was cool and crisp as Sylvia leaned her head on my shoulder, catching me off guard with her unexpected gesture. I turned to look at her, noticing the hopeful gleam in her eyes. Despite what you say, I still have a feeling that something important will happen at the academy, she said, her voice filled with anticipation. I couldn't help but chuckle at her optimism. Women's intuition, huh? She laughed, a melodic sound that echoed in the quiet night. You could say that. I reached out to pat her head gently, feeling a sense of warmth and affection towards her. Well, I suppose we'll just have to wait and see what the future holds for us at the academy. A radiant smile lit up Sylvia's face as she leaned into my touch. I can't wait to see what adventures await us. And so, under the starry sky that shimmered above us, we sat in comfortable silence, the tranquil night wrapping around us like a comforting embrace.